Tempo moves.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at tempo moves. Why to play and win? Normally, rook versus bishop is a draw, but this is an
So I'm
exception.
thinking if you move the rook to H, can't say. Tempo move, so I have to create a threat. So is it rook to H8?
That's the first move. And what is black's only reply?
To interpose the bishop with H5.
Yeah.
And then...
And now we're going to use the tempo move. Just to give the move back to our opponent. And then we win the bishop.
Okay, so we just make any. So do we go back to G8?
What does that do? Then he can play bishop there, for example.
Okay, so it's not there.
No.
Just when you says give the move back to our opponents, I thought you meant like do something just to give him back a goal.
That's exactly what I meant. But then on G8, you don't keep the status quo on G8 because you're unpinning the bishop.
Yeah,
so we want to keep the pin.
Yeah, okay, now H7, please.
Yeah, or H6. And his only move is this, and you pick up the bishop.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little move. They're very nice moves to make. Just a little move, and he has to give up the protection of the bishop. We did cover, sorry. We did the checkmating with rook. Yeah, we did that last time. We did it not so long ago. Rook versus, or did we do that? Rook and king versus king? Do you know how to checkmate?
No.
Okay, well then,
yeah,
you're right, because we did last time or a few times ago.
King and queen.
King and queen versus king, yeah. So it's worth, because after when you're in this position, you probably have played 70 moves, and it's a big shame if you then don't know how to finish it off. So I need to teach you how. I have a nice little method how to checkmate with rook versus king. So we should do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's look at one more tempo move. If I have them here. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. Why to play?
To move the king to B6.
And why is that a good move?
Well, I don't want to move any. Well, he can take that pawn for free now, so it's not there. So we'll go back.
Okay.
Okay, so I keep my king there. Okay, do we just move pawn to F3?
Okay. And then I play pawn to F6.
Pawn to H3.
Pawn to H3. And I shake your hand because I have to give up my protection of that pawn. I have no more pawn moves to make because you take, and if I play my king, I lose the B5 pawn. And this guy will run through. So we use, through a tempo move, we can win this game because we have 2 tempos left. It's almost a game of chicken. These kings do not want to play because the sooner they play, their pawn drops. So it's who blinks first. Well, white is lucky that he has 2 moves, 2 tempo moves left. You can also start with H3. That's the same thing. Black only has 1 free move and then F3. And the funny thing is that with white to play, black wins, but with black to play, white wins. There's nothing in between.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it happens a lot in king and pawn endgames, and I have a million of these type of exercises. But this is an example of the. Did you get that? Yeah, the idea here.
Yeah. Because if the king, that's what I did. I got burned, didn't I? First, I moved the king and then lost a pawn, and then I just made the pawn moves. Exactly what you said, and then eventually you have to blink first. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. It is white to play after king c6. How does white win? That is the question. King c6, white to play and win.
Right to play and win. Right to play and win. Oh, this is tough. Any
Well,
checks?
you were on the right track there.
Any checks?
Any captures?
Man, this has captured my mind. I tell you that.
Well, he's threatening to take our pawn, right? We don't want him to take
Yeah. Oh
our
yeah.
pawn.
Yeah. So let's go. Paul. King d4.
King d4, exactly. And we have that game of chicken again. So
Oh
he
yeah.
has no free moves with that pawn. He has no free moves with that pawn. He can't play the king because that will drop this pawn. So he only can play the a pawn, right?
Yes.
And now we have the choice between a3 and a4, but one wins and one
a4.
loses. a4, exactly. a4, and we'd won the game of chicken.
What? Oh yeah, because then he says there's an extra goal. Then I lose. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because you're right. If you play a3, he has a tempo move left, and now suddenly we have to give way and we have to give up the protection of the pawn on c5.
You know, Rick, to me, this ain't like no 900 level. This is like 1,200 level. This is.
Well, probably is, but
I'm happy. No, not hey,
yeah,
give me all these all day long. You know, you've got to push it. That's what I'm here for. But like, I ain't like this is tough.
yeah, it is tough. And it's also that we haven't done anything on this yet, and you've never, your games are well over before you get to this situation. So we haven't done anything on tempo moves, but it really only happens in king and pawn endgames. Because if there's other pieces, they always can make a move. If there's rooks left, you can always. It's very difficult to get a tempo move situation because if your opponent has a rook, in almost all situations, he will be able to do something with that rook. But with pawns and kings, then you get this type of situation, and you can see how important it is because after king c6, king d4, a5, then if you play a3, you're going to cry because you're losing this game. If you play a4, you're going to open the champagne because you're winning this game, and there's nothing in between.
Yeah,
It's,
that's true. Wow.
and again, this is probably after 70 moves, this position, and you don't want to give it away after 70 moves. You want to.
That's why I moved the rook in the last game to g8, thinking yeah, and then come back, but it was on the same
Yeah, you have to keep the bishop pinned.
file,
That was
not
the
not
trick.
the different file.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
But yeah,
where from what I've gathered from watching your videos, Chess to Impress and Chess to Progress is as if I can see once and then twice and then get it, I've seen it. That's why I'm getting better because I have to see it first.
yeah. That's it.
So
That is with everything in life, isn't it? If you have never seen it, then how can you master it? And tempo
if
moves, we have not done anything on that yet. And as I said, in your games, these type of positions, the games are well over before you get to a king and pawn
yeah,
game like that.
if we do the tactics mix next time, then Rick.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
think the double attacks you're really, really proficient at because you've um practiced that so much. Move the defender, they can be tough. Pin and the skewer, you're really good at that. The discovered attack, we had one difficult one, but the others were so immediately. The tempo moves
Rick,
is something new.
Rick, can you give me one more discovered attack?
Yep,
Just one more, because that one was. I want to just. I want to have a look at one more, please.
sure. Why to play?
Right, discovered attack. You know, I'm so happy I asked you because what was I saying? I've been talking about this all morning. I've been talking about this in my sleep. Can we have bishop to h7, please?
Yep. Thank you very much for the queen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'd have to do one more. Why to play?
Oh, beautiful. I'll have bishop to g5, please.
Very pretty, isn't it? Check
Yeah.
and attacking the queen.
And I get a lot of this in my games at my level.
Yeah,
That's why, look, in some of my games, again, people will hear this. I'm not, listen, I know I'm in my own lane. In fact, I've lost a few points. So, but when I sometimes blunder my queen with a bit of like looking and skill, sometimes I get it back, Rick, with a tactic like that. I actually get him back.
definitely. That's a great thing about playing chess at your level, that very often you get a second chance. And if you, you're very good as well to not hang your head if you drop something. If you keep fighting, keep trying to set your opponent problems, then very often you'll get a second chance.